She had several dreams, all dreams shattered.
Their smiles, their laughter, their funny jokes, and their loving nature will forever be cherished in our memories.
He was a seeker of knowledge and understanding, and he was a really good young man. And it's a tragic loss to lose him at the age of 20.
But a child that's not going to have immediate family moving forward, it just breaks our heart all the way around.
The victims and their families, the kids that were supposed to show up home, the people who had to witness it, we pray for them.
As we join you tonight, truth be told, there are no real words that suffice when you see the faces of those 8 precious lives that were taken from their families and from their friends.
Yeah, tonight it was important for us to intimately serve as a somber reminder of the lives that we lost 1 year ago today in the Allen Mall mass shooting.
And it's fitting tonight that we take some time to honor those 8 innocent lives and also shine a light on some of the heroes who've prevented the loss of even more life that day.
There were so many. We actually want to take you to Allen now, where things honestly look much different than they did a year ago. The city paying tribute tonight to the victims, survivors, and first responders with a very special remembrance ceremony.
Jason Allen to start us off this evening, taking us inside this evening of reflection.
Surrounded by candlelight, the Allen Philharmonic played original composition in Lumine. The 8 solos meant to illuminate the lives of the 8 people lost a year ago.
May the light of remembrance and gratitude shine brightly, and may we find comfort in the knowledge that though gone from our sight, those we mourn will remain forever in our hearts.
The somber public program in a darkened event center was almost entirely music and silent moments for reflection. That's because sometimes, the mayor told the few hundred people there are simply no words to say.
So we can lean on each other, so we can love on each other, and so we can experience the healing that happens when we do hard things together instead of doing them alone. So sweet the sound.
This was a very solemn, really quiet occasion, really quite unlike any sort of vigil or memorial that I have been to before, Doug and Nicole, which, given what happened a year ago tonight, felt very appropriate.
Jason Allen, thank you very much, Jason.
Still so much unsaid there. If we take you less than a mile away from tonight's ceremony, you'll see this. It's a permanent memorial honoring the 8 lives that we lost last year. Allen Premium Outlets unveiled this just this morning. You can see those 8 wind chimes there. They are symbolic, representing each victim.
So many stories from that day, and that includes a first-hand account from a woman named Raquel Lee.
She is a mom and a wife who opened up to me about all of it, and she got to go home that night, she says, thanks to an angel.
She said that she had been to the Allen Premium Outlets plenty of times, but this time was the first that she had to hide in a closet. And it was the first time she ever had to fear for her life.
And honestly, she came back home a different woman. She shares her testimony with me about those horrifying moments.
May 6, 2023, how did that day change you?
It made me appreciate life more. It made me appreciate life more. Like, you don't think that you're gonna face death in the face.
Death was the last thing Raquel Lee expected to encounter when she made the 50-minute drive from Forney to celebrate Mother's Day weekend.
My husband told me to go and have some time out. He had my kids, who were at the time 1 and 4. And I was just excited to be out without a stroller.
It only took 3 minutes for everything to change.
I know that my life's testimony is one to the glory of God.
She says she stopped in a store she never shops at, and then she heard it.
Which at the time, I don't think anyone expected that they were gunshots. It wasn't until I saw someone run past the window and be shot in their back that I realized it was a shooting. And then you just hear chaos.
Piercing fear left Raquel frozen until she felt the warm, thoughtful hand of a stranger.
And the store associate she ended up pulling my arm, and she was saying, get everyone in the employee break room.
Looking back on it now, do you feel like the store employee was an angel?
Oh, for sure. If she walked by right now, I couldn't even remember what she looked like, just because that day is so heavy, but she is an angel.
What would you want to say to her today?
I owe her a lot. I don't feel like I would be here if she hadn't pulled me out of that area. She was able to save our lives.
She and 10 others protected by prayers and a metal door.
You hear the screams, you hear the cries. Everyone in that closet was praying in their own language. It was actually a beautiful reflection, I think, of just humanity and religion and background and ethnicity. Like, everybody there was from different backgrounds.
A poetic juxtaposition as Raquel managed to type what she thought would be her last text to her family.
I love you. I'm in Allen. If I don't talk to you, I'm sorry, or something. It was very disjointed. Such a weird goodbye message when you think about it. But at the time, you're just trying to get as many words as you can out, because I honestly thought that he was coming in there for us next.
After 2 long hours in a hot, small closet, they were freed by a SWAT team.
Come on out, come on out. I saw the people that were shot because we were in such proximity. We were the last door to get evacuated. First, I didn't want to open the door for anyone. There were pregnant women in there. There was a young child in there. And it wasn't until they identified themselves, we opened the door, and you're just literally walking through blood, bags, shopping bags, bodies, and you're just seeing it all. And you see action movies or, video games, but to see that in real life was devastating.
There's plenty Raquel still carries with her about that day.
After leaving Allen that day, I haven't been back.
But like the store associate who pulled Raquel to safety, she's also grateful for the off-duty officer who faced death to save many lives.
I'm mindful and I'm reflective of the lives that we lost, and I carry them with me. I feel like I do this and I share this message to be the voice for them. There could have been so much more bloodshed if it had not been for that off-duty officer.
Time and tragedy preside as unsuspecting teachers for a mom who thought she'd never make it home to her kids, her husband, or their life together.
I laugh more with them. I'm enjoying them. They are just my world. So I have a different appreciation of taking on the challenges of life while still being able to enjoy it.
But survivor, that's a title she's still learning to embrace.
I almost felt guilty in a way that I saw everything. I saw everyone who was killed, but I was still alive. I felt guilty to call myself a survivor because I am still here.
If you could fill in the blank, Raquel Lee is, what would you say?
The first word that came to mind was resilient. Raquel Lee is resilient, but then also Raquel Lee is blessed.
I'm struck by her strength to share her story, but at the same time, the survivor's guilt is something we've heard not just from Raquel, but from so many others.
It weighed really heavy on her. She started off that interview telling me, I just feel so blessed to even be here. The way she described the sheer panic of hearing the gunshots, texting her family, and
what she saw.
She saw people lose their lives. So, we're so grateful to Raquel to open up to us. But like you said, she has a lot she's still sorting through. And we're thinking of all of you all tonight.
So, let's talk about the video for a moment, because when Allen police released the video of the officer who ran toward the danger, who she talked about, saved lives a year ago, we made the decision that day to air that video in full without any interruption at all.
Honestly, we felt it was just the best way to understand what still unidentified officers experience, and the one who really rushed in to save everyone, and what it was like from his point of view that day.
Here we are 1 year later, and 2 other Allen first responders are now, a year later, among the first to arrive, and now the first to open up about that day. And tonight, they share with us what they felt in their own words the first time they saw that video.
And say always the seatbelt. Wow.
145. I think we got shots fired at the outlet mall.
Absolute courage, absolute selflessness to go in there and take care of business, to do things the way that we've trained on. And, you know, I couldn't be more proud of our personnel and their response.
Allen Fire Division Chief Daniel Williams was at a funeral for a firefighting colleague when the call came.
A lot of us started getting notifications of a shooting at the outlet mall.
That included Allen Police Lieutenant Chris Worstrom, who was among the first to get to the mall as panicked shoppers were flooding the exits.
I wound up abandoning my squad car. I grabbed my rifle, some extra magazines, a bottle of water, and took off on foot.
While officers swarm, Williams tells me he'll never forget the moment that he watched some of his fellow firefighters gear up and then head in, ready to fight firepower instead of flames.
Sending the first crew into that, you know, that was a lot.
This is no longer training.
This is no longer training, this is real.
Every time we've ever walked through this scenario, every time that we've ever practiced it, we assume a couple of different fighting formations that have multiple people involved. The protection that ballistic equipment, heavy shields provides, and he went and did this with the clothes that are on his back and nothing else. And I think that that's the most intense aspect of the video for me.
But 1 year later, pride in the response is still overshadowed for these husbands and fathers by the lives they couldn't save. The Mendoza sisters, just 11 and 8 years old. The Cho family, Father Q, Mother Cindy, and 3-year-old James. 20-year-old Christian LaCour, 26-year-old Ashwarya Thadakanda, and 32-year-old Elio Kumana Rivas.
It's impossible to not take it home. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know, my wife said, "I'll keep him awake for you." And yeah, having them there to get you through that, it's impossible to not take it home.
You can't not. It's impossible. I sat in the driveway knowing that my wife was going to be in the garage. Of course you do.
May 6th, 2023. Forever a day that when Allen, Texas saw the worst in our world, the world also got to see Allen's best.
The relationship between APD and AFD is just second to none, and you know, it showed that day.
Our training has come a long way. We're significantly better at this than we used to be, but there's still work to be done. These things evolve, and our responses need to evolve with them.
Such powerful perspectives there, and we're so thankful for them and all that work. And to this point, you know, grief is something that moves at its own pace. We can't control it. It is different for everyone. We feel it differently. But the one thing that sometimes can connect us all and help us heal, music.
It's universal. And tonight we're honored to introduce to you 5 talented musicians who are here in our other studio to play a special arrangement for you tonight, composed by SMU Music Professor Lane Harder. And yes, it's something you don't normally see on a 10 p.m. newscast, but tonight, honestly, it just feels right.
It does. And this piece is aptly titled In Lumine, which is Latin for light.